Hi, my name is Mali Brofsky, and I'd like to share a few words for this difficult time that I think we're all continuing to go through. So I think we can learn something very important from one of our greatest leaders, who is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe, who took the Jewish people out of slavery, out of Egypt, led them through the desert and onto the shores of Eretz Yisrael, onto the shores of the Promised Land. So one of the things we know about Moshe is that the first thing we learn about him is his ability to have what I'm going to call compassion as opposed to empathy, and I want to explain why I'm using those terms. So we know that Moshe, the first thing we know is that he goes out to hear the suffering of his people, to see the suffering of his people, and then immediately he takes action when he sees one of his brethren being attacked by an Egyptian. So that, what I want to say is that demonstrates Moshe's ability to feel compassion. And I think that what we can learn from that is the importance of compassion, and I'd like to contrast compassion to empathy. Empathy, which I think we all think is a very important trait, which it indeed is the ability to feel with someone, to feel someone's pain, to enter into their suffering. And obviously that is a crucial emotional ability to have, and that we all have. The pitfall, however, of merely having empathy is that we can end up with what I think people misname compassion fatigue, but I really think it should be called empathy fatigue, which means that we become so emotionally drained because we're picking up the emotions of the pain of everybody around us. And that can really be quite difficult. And I feel like it's something that we all have some experience with during this time. What I'd like to suggest is that compassion is different than empathy. Compassion is not just plugging into and experiencing someone's pain. Compassion is understanding and identifying the emotions of the other person and then taking action. Now, that action does not have to be, like Moshe Rabbeinu, a very powerful action of outside there in the world. That action can be as simple as kind of sending someone feelings of love, conveying to someone feelings of caring, conveying to someone feelings of understanding. And so I really think that a helpful tip for us is to act like Moshe and to act with compassion, which means, and interestingly enough, they've even found on brain scans that when people have empathy, pain neurons show up, as opposed to when people have compassion, in which it activates a different center of the brain that's a much more comforting area. And so I would suggest that we have compassion for each other, and also self-compassion, compassion for ourselves. And the action so what would that look like? The emotion that we have is identifying what it is that we're feeling, the difficult feelings that are coming up, and then the action that we have is sending ourselves caring, sending ourselves love, recognizing our suffering, sending ourselves messages of kindness. And clearly this is something we can do for ourselves, and it's something we can do for others. And then we can, again, the spectrum of action we can take can be from something very internal that we do for ourselves, something very simple, which can be just reaching out to others, or sending them a message of caring, or it can actually be an action that's more concrete, which can obviously be a wide range of behaviors, which can be from visiting someone or supporting in any other type of concrete way. But I think the most important message here is the message of kindness and self-kindness, rather than just drowning in pain. And I think that that's something that we can all learn to emulate from Moshe Rabbeinu, and may we all continue to feel that comfort as we traverse this time, hopefully with Bezrat Hashem, seeing positive outcomes in the future.